It is Monday, March 9th, and there's a lot happening related to coronavirus. Since my last video, the Lombardy region in Italy has been quarantined. Oil futures are down 20 to 30%. Stocks are down, and there was a temporary halt in trading because tripwires were triggered. Big challenges in the marketplace. Let's go. In my last video, I stated unequivocally that I believe that the cancellation of South by Southwest is the fundamental tipping point for the way businesses and consumers feel about coronavirus. Up until that point, it was questionable to me whether people would go about their business. Certainly, many people in China have been quarantined. I had gone earlier in last week to a conference, the Social Media Marketing World Conference, put on by Social Media Examiner. It's a fantastic conference in San Diego. But the cancellation of South by Southwest signaled to me that this is a deal that is not going to go away in the near future, in the very short term. And since that cancellation, a lot has happened. So I'll go down the list as of today. The Lombardy region in Italy has been quarantined. That includes the great city of Milan. So there are about 16 million people in Lombardy region right now who are quarantined. Doesn't mean that life is coming to a standstill, but travelers in and out are having challenges getting in and out, and people kind of just have to stay local. The U.S. State Department has advised not to go on cruises, as cruise ships seem to be an acceleration point for the virus in relatively small groups of 2,000 to 4,000 people. The biggest news of the moment, literally of the last couple hours, oil futures have dropped 30% overnight as price wars between Saudi Arabia, Russia, and the United States have accelerated, resulting in a cooling of oil costs. Basically, demand for oil over the last few weeks, I guess, has been diminished. Saudi Arabia is expected or has claimed to be lowering prices. I'm not a stock market analyst, but the point is this is causing a big disruption in the marketplace. Currently, the stock market is about an hour back from being halted due to a tripwire being triggered, meaning that there's a stock market. When the stock market, I believe, crashes about 7%, when it drops about 7%, that's a massive amount for the Dow Jones, for example. There's a tripwire in place to kind of just halt trading to give everyone a chance to cool off. We're about an hour removed from that. Stocks are down dramatically, anywhere between 5 and 7%. Bank stocks are being hammered 8 to 10%. The crypto markets are down between 10 and 15%. Like Litecoin right now is down about 15%. Bitcoin is down about 10%. Facebook is down about 5%. So, people like Jim Cramer are calling this an unprecedented situation on the level, happening faster and with more acceleration than had happened in the 2007 to 2009 Great Recession, right? So this is, on Twitter, the term stock market crash is trending, Black Monday is trending. Whatever your thoughts might be on the element of coronavirus, here's some implications here. First of all, I'll say that this is not none of this. So people have been suffering with the coronavirus for a few months now. Certainly people in the Hubei province of China have been quarantined. To me, the idea that a trend starts forming where large groups of people start being quarantined, so the second large group of people being in Lombardy, that to me is a signifier that this is not going away. Business cancellations, conferences, the ability for people to meet other people is a big challenge now. And I think if you're in the tourism, events, destinations business, that includes large-scale travel on an airplane, or certainly if you're a cruise line, these are big challenges for you over the next few months. I think consumers are scared, and the media is perpetuating that situation, rightfully or wrongfully. I'm not going to really comment on that, but I think here's some ideas that businesses should be deploying as we are all taking note of the events that are happening in real time. First of all, it's interesting. If you spend your time, or if I spend my time, reading or consuming media about the coronavirus, it seems dire. In fact, there are some engineers are predicting that by the middle of May, the vast majority of hospital beds in the United States, if the coronavirus continues to accelerate, infecting people, will be completely full. That will create a situation where resources are limited, and when resources are limited in the healthcare system, more people that need to will be affected because they won't have access to the healthcare that they need had they had access earlier. So those are really smart people, engineers. I heard some interesting points of view, specifically that the companies who are taking most light of this coronavirus are companies in Silicon Valley who are familiar with the network effect, certainly the ability for an idea or a contagion to spread among very people very quickly is key to the success of the ideas of the concept of idea spreading, Twitter, Facebook, other social networks. So the general trends that I'm seeing, companies should be quickly pivoting to work from home situations. Our company uses Zoom, Slack, email, and phone to communicate. It allows our team allows me to hire the best people from all around the U.S., which is incredible, and also to hire staff internationally that allows us to get our work done effectively and in a timely manner. It allows us to have coverage in all the U.S. time zones, and certainly it allows me and our employees to have time with our families throughout the day. And an important element to that is I have a 14-month-old baby boy. If I were to work from 8 to 8 or leave the house around 8 a.m. and get back around 7 or 8 p.m., I would literally not see my boy 5 days out of the week. So I think working from home, we're going to see a big move to working from home. Certainly some of the companies that we work with, that we partner with, are pushing towards more telecommunications using Zoom, Slack, email, and phone. I think marketing messages are quickly going to pivot about safety, security, and ongoing vigilance. I'm seeing a fair number of communication points from Southwest Airlines. I'm seeing ads on Facebook and an email. They're sending out detailing how they are increasing their cleanliness, their cleaning efforts in airplanes. So they're increasing the amount of time that they clean airplanes. The point is, consumers want to be reassured that the places they're going are disinfected as much as possible. The idea that communicating clear efforts to reassure customers needs to be there. And not every ad or every marketing message that I'm seeing is doing this. But I think we're gonna, as businesses start to pivot on this, I think a lot of businesses still aren't feeling the immediate impact of this issue. Like I'm looking at an ad for a company called Funbox. Apply without a hard credit pull, get approved for a business line of credit. So nothing related to coronavirus, but I think it does signal the fact that maybe business owners are going to be looking for a line of credit if there is a market crash that kind of continues on and the market doesn't bounce back. If there is a recession, I think we're going to see, at least for business owners, much more communication about different financial resources to buoy businesses during the potential tough times ahead. For programmatic advertisers, we're seeing block lists come in where ads are not being shown on pages that speak about coronavirus. Certainly, I'm reading a lot of content about coronavirus right now, and basically, I see those ad spaces where there's kind of a blue background and clouds. That's an indicator that the company Double Verify, is blocking ads for that page because the advertiser has demanded not to serve ads on pages about negative health news or coronavirus specifically. This is anecdotal evidence. I think, and what I'm hearing is that local lifestyle media and purchase consumption will continue and will continue to be largely unaffected. Movie theaters had good turnout this week. I think I've been seeing ads for Universal Studios. Anecdotally, the local bowling alley here in Northridge, Corbin Bowl, was jam-packed on Saturday night. I think we're going to start to see a pivot towards local getaways. I've been seeing ads for various Las Vegas destinations. I think it's possible that any money that is not being spent on large, long-distance trips might be spent by consumers doing local getaways. So in Los Angeles, you're talking about Vegas, you're talking about Laguna Beach, you're talking about Palm Springs, you're talking about Santa Barbara, Universal Studios, and certainly I've seen a lot of people talk about how they're still going to Disneyland. And then finally, business-to-business marketers should be creating digital meetings powered by tools like Zoom. I think there's a big opportunity for business consumption of media as people are staying home and maybe have more time to consume this content. So anyone who's ever considered starting a podcast, I think now is a great time to start a podcast. It's a great way to boost your business visibility and create opportunities for people to connect with you and get to know you without having to meet you face to face. The one upside to all of this is that I just read in Business Insider, China has reported 40 new coronavirus cases today. The reason that's good is because it's dramatically down from the peak of 4,000 new coronavirus infections reported on some days in February. So China, as the sort of front edge of the coronavirus infection situation, is declining in new infectious cases. Certainly, this is a new thing. Scientists probably don't know why that's happening. I'm sure they have some theories. I think we're about to, my hope is that today and the last few days, it's quite possible that this is the peak of the issue. I kind of don't think it is, but there's so much news and conversation about this. I think one of two things happens. I think either this week might be the peak of the fury around coronavirus, or quite likely we're at the foot of the mountain, meaning we're just starting this challenge. And where my mind is, where I see this going, is I think we're in for a couple months of a challenging economic time as consumers remain fearful. I would hope it happens quicker rather than, we cycle through this very quickly and the stock market rebounds and consumer confidence rebounds and people travel. I'm hoping by September, maybe normal travel resumes. But if we hit a peak of coronavirus infections, at least in the United States, it might take longer than that for things to get back to normal. So challenging times ahead. The last point I'll leave you with is there's a financial analyst whose video I saw over the weekend, and he said that consumers represent 2/3 of annual GDP, gross domestic product, consumer spending, and so total consumer spending in 2017 was $17 trillion according to Google, and his point was lifestyle spending. So local spending, Starbucks, Lululemon, all the things a person does on a daily basis that keeps them sort of interested in their day-to-day stuff, consumer spending, lifestyle interests, are not necessarily dropping, which is a good point. He also mentioned that a point to consider is that the massive recession that happened in 2008, the Great Recession, was indicative of long-term, multiple quarters of problems with the economy, fundamental issues with the housing market. Certainly, we've been in a bull run for the last 10 years, maybe 11 years, depending on how you count it. A really long time for a massive, popular, strong bull market. A good time to be in business, a good time to be in the stock market with record gains in the stock market. And I think a lot of people have not expected that the recovery from the Great Recession would last so long and be such a long period of success. So the coronavirus challenges that we're seeing now in the market, according to this financial expert that I saw, I think it was from BNI Capital, he said that while we may be in for challenging times ahead, this is not indicative of structural problems or fundamental problems with the market. The market is still strong. It's just that consumer confidence is temporarily down because of the coronavirus, which I think is another silver lining of good news. But again, as a business owner, I am paying very close attention to this, and we are talking to our advertising clients about the types of things they should be doing. We're moving forward with this local marketing initiative called Spot On Marketing. And the Spot On Marketing idea is that local businesses need a combination of landing pages, email marketing, social media content posting, and paid media, copywriting, and aggressive optimization to make their campaigns work. And we are still aggressively moving forward with that, because I think no matter what, good times or bad, stock market does well, stock market crashes, the need for local marketing to be successful, to drive business forward, is going to be incredibly important, especially much more important if the market declines. Now, for those of you who have been in business for a period of time and have seen down times, as I have, I started in advertising or in marketing in 2003, got my first agency job in 2004. I am clearly aware that when there is a dramatic turn in the market and it drops and consumer confidence drops, advertiser spending drops as well. But we have opportunities now in the year 2020 to operate in a very lean way, to acclimate to the market situation. And specifically, that means hiring staff, as we do all across the country, where, you know what, I have some incredibly smart and talented professionals who are employed with Brill Media who I would never be able to hire if I wasn't willing to look at people across the country. So we have a marketplace opportunity. We have an advantage because we hire all across the US. So we are nimble and we are strategic. And I think no matter what the marketplace does, we will have an opportunity to service our clients and service business owners in a way that gives them what they need as they ask for it, and sustain really well through any market downturn and come out really strong on a market upturn. So that's where we are. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think we're in for a consumer challenge over the next couple months, as I do? Do you think the media, this is a warranted situation with coronavirus? Do we think that coronavirus is as big a deal as the media makes it out to be? Are you fearful? Are you not going to travel? Will you travel? Will you travel for business? Do you think that humans have an inability to judge our mortality in situations like this, and maybe people like me might be being too cavalier in wanting to travel? Because I want to travel. I want to go to South by Southwest. Do you think that's too cavalier? What do you think is going to happen over the next 3 months in the life cycle of stocks, the market, business, and economic opportunity? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. I've heard some really interesting ideas. And finally, the last thing is, I had a great interview on LA Business Podcast. LABusinessPodcast.com is my podcast where we talk about how to grow and scale businesses. I had a really great interview with Kristen Anderson, who is a co-founder and CEO of Catch. And Catch is an interesting product because it provides the safety net package that for virtual assistants and other gig workers. So if you're an Uber driver or Lyft driver, if you work remotely on Upwork, etc., Catch is an opportunity for you or these gig workers to have a safety net of like health insurance and 401ks and retirement, all that stuff, as if you were an employer. As if you were getting employee benefits, even as a gig worker. So if you happen to fall in that category, check them out. If you're a business owner and you want to learn more, their website is catch.com. Great interview. If you want to hear what Kristen has to say, I met Kristen on Twitter because she was talking about how she was planning a big marketing rollout at South by Southwest, and now, as you know, that's not happening. And what are the effects of that cancellation of South by Southwest for her business, and how does she continue to push forward with her mission? You can listen to the podcast episode at labusinesspodcast.com. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Talk to you soon.